children, it's Mrs. Lee here. It's assembly number 25 and it's the week beginning the 17th of April. Where have you been? Have you been on holiday? Did you stay at home? We've had 2 weeks away from each other, haven't we? I hope that you are okay. So good to see you. Right, routine, come on, let's get back into it. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Well, I can see that the clock says long hand, which is the minute. Hand is on the 12. I know that means it's o'clock. The short hand, the hour hand, is pointing towards the 3. I put it all together and I know that it says, that's right, it's 3 o'clock. What else? Oh, well, we're in the month of April now. We've only just started learning this language and we haven't got it for long, so come on guys. Hello in Czech is ahoy, ahoy. The Makaton sign has changed. It's one we've had before though, children. You read that word? That's right. World. You sign world. Now, why is Mrs. Lee wanting us to think about the world? Well, I don't know if you know, but this week on the 22nd, so it's a weekend, it's Earth Day. And we've been looking at the Earth this week, haven't we? Because we've not been looking where we live, which is in the, can you remember? That's right, the United Kingdom. We've travelled all the way around the Earth to the other side to a country called, that's right, Australia. That's our new theme, isn't it? We're learning about Australia as part of being great explorers. Now, the Earth is a very precious thing and we're very lucky to have it. But if we don't look after it, we're going to ruin it. And do we want that to happen? No, we don't want that to happen. So, what do we need to do? Well, this little booklet here that I'm going to leave out gives you some top tips about looking after the Earth. Oh, the Earth looks happy in this picture, doesn't it? Oh, some really interesting things. It says, ready, take short showers. Use LED light bulbs. Recycle. And write letters to your MP. My gosh. So, if I take a shorter shower, I won't be using as much, that's right, water. When I'm cleaning my teeth, I must turn off the tap so it doesn't trickle. Ooh, what else did it say? Oh, the light bulbs. Now, that's a tricky one for me to do. I'd have to ask my grown-up, wouldn't I? Recycle. That's right. All the paper that we use and the plastic that we use, there's quite a lot of it, we need to think, can we recycle it? And in our classrooms we have the green bins. Now I know that Mrs. Beecher talks to her class a lot about what should go in the green bin. If you don't know what should go in the green bin, then please ask your grown-ups in school and they will tell you, because some things can go in and some things can't go in. Now, if we do all of these things, we're going to help the Earth to stay being happy. That's right. Okay, right. Now, coming up this week, as well as Earth Day, is St. George's Day. Now, that is a celebration that is only celebrated in one country. Now, I need you to remember, how many countries are there in the UK? Can you remember? That's right, there is England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. Oh gosh, 4. And one of them is celebrating its patron saint. And its patron saint is St. George. Does anybody know which country? That's right, it's England. I've got another little booklet that you might like to look at, and it's all about St. George. This was a person, a real person that lived many hundreds of years ago. And the story goes that he defeated a dragon. Now, I don't know if I believed a bit about the dragon. What would you need to be to defeat a dragon, do you think? What sort of qualities do you need? You'd need to be like our Hertford heroes, I'm sure. Don't think the dragon's going to give up easily. Well, I know that George was very brave. He didn't give up. He was a bit like Perseverance Parrot. And he saved a maiden. And the maiden was a young girl. And actually, she was the king's daughter. And the dragon liked to eat the king's daughters and any other maidens. So George decided he would defeat him. Can you see this dragon? Golly gosh, look how big he is. He looks a bit fierce, doesn't he? The dragon gave lots of roars. Oh my gosh. But George was like Perseverance Parrot, and he might have felt a little bit scared, but he fought with all his strength. In fact, he was a soldier, and he'd been to Rome, and had been fighting in Rome. And he was a Christian as well. So he believed in God, and he did good things. Anyway, he saved that princess. Now, that's a very, very old story, and you can look at it in this book. And coming up this weekend, after World Water Day, the next day is St. George's Day. And people might put out their flags. Now, I don't know if you can remember the flags that we had. Who can remember the two colours that are on the England flag? That's right, red and white. Shall I show you an England flag? 3, 2, 1. Did you see? You might have remembered that. Gosh, so we are using some of the knowledge that we've already had from our geography last term. It's going to help us with our learning now, isn't it? So, 2 events this week. We've got Earth Day, and if you want to find out more about things that you can do to make sure the Earth is happy, you can look at these books. Now, some of these books I've read to you before. This one's called World in Danger. This one's called Dear Earth. And this one's called, oh gosh, A Planet Full of Plastic. Oh, I don't think I like the sound of The Planet Full of Plastic. Now, all these books are here for you to look at and read while you're waiting to eat your lunch. We've got a globe here as well, so you can look at if you want to find out where there's different countries and how the world looks. And we've also got this book, and I'm going to read you this book in a moment. It's called George and the Dragon, but it's got a bit of a twist to it. I don't know if you can just remember what I was talking to you about. Do you remember George? Yes, he was a soldier, wasn't he? And he had to fight a dragon. Now, in this story, it's set in the mountains far, far away, and there is a dragon in it, but there's also another character, and he is called George, but somehow he doesn't really look like a knight in shining armour. I'll tell you about him in a moment. So children, it's the beginning of term, isn't it? And I just want you to think really carefully about making sure you make the summer term a really good one. I want you to remember a few things. I've got my lanyard on, I've remembered to wear it. Can you remember what we say about our lanyards? That's right. If somebody's wearing a blue lanyard, then they are somebody that we know is safe to talk to, is in our school and has come through and signed in, and we know that they're here and we are okay with them. But if they haven't got a blue lanyard on and they've got a red one on, then they need to be with somebody who has got a blue one on. So we need to always be looking. If you see somebody with a different colour lanyard on to the blue ones, you must ask them why they're here in school. And if they haven't got a lanyard on, you must talk to a grown-up straight away. Oh, what else do I need to remember? I need to remember to drink lots of water. It's going to start getting warm, children. Now, I know lots of you like juice, But at Hertford Infant and Preschool we drink water. So make sure you bring your water in and have lots of sips of it throughout the day. Now if you finish a water bottle, we can always fill it up. Don't forget things that you need to bring to help you with your learning. So if you're a person who wears glasses, make sure you've got your glasses ready so you can put them on so you can see when you're reading. Mrs. Lee has to wear a hearing aid, doesn't she? Must make sure in the mornings I put that on so that I can hear you. Oh, what else might help us to have a happy and safe time at Hertford Infant and Preschool? That's right, our golden rules. Now don't forget the golden rules. Show me how many there are. That's right, there are 7 golden rules and they are here to keep us happy and safe. Now you might sometimes forget them and that's okay as long as you say sorry and you don't do it again. Lots to remember, isn't there? Well, remember all the grown-ups here with the blue lanyards on are here to help you to make you happy and safe. Make sure you are listening to them, always looking at them. Right, I'm going to finish off with that story. It's called George and the Dragon, and as I said, has got a dragon in it, but it's got somebody else called George in it. Far, far away in the high, high mountains, in a deep, deep valley, in a dark, dark cave, there lived a mighty dragon. Gosh, he's huge, isn't he? It's coming out of his nose. He could fly higher than the clouds and faster than all the birds. He could burn down a forest with a blast of his fiery breath. He could smash a castle wall with a flick of his mighty tail. And he could brush away an army with a sweep of his monstrous wing. Oh, look, can you see? I spy something I saw last half-term. That's right. It's the flag, isn't it? It's the England flag. There was nothing so fierce and so terrible as the mighty dragon. But he had a secret. Shh. A big secret. Well, actually, a very small secret. Come. He was terrified of mice. Which was a pity because that very day, a mouse moved into the cave just right next door to him. And guess what his name was? His name was George. Now, George didn't much care for the cave next door. It was cold and dark and drafty. And the previous owner had been a bat, so the fixtures and furnishings were most inconvenient. Now, if you know anything about bats, you know that's right, they like to be upside down, don't they? I don't think the mouse wants to be upside down. Poor old George. And guess what? The nearest cheese shop was miles and miles and miles away. George was feeling rather miserable. And to make matters worse, he had no sugar for his tea. I know, said George. I'll just pop over next door and see if I can borrow some. So he did. Who lives next door? There's the dragon. I say, said George, you couldn't loan me a couple of lumps of sugar, could you? Ah! Screamed the dragon. What's he dropped? He's dropped a fair maiden. Maybe that was the king's daughter. And he fled. Oh, blow, groaned George. No tea then. But George did get his tea after all, with 2 lumps of sugar, and he got cheese too, and nuts and berries and biscuits and crackers and cream cheese sandwiches and jelly and ice cream and fairy cakes with pink icing. And a cosy little hole in the castle wall. I think the fair maiden has rewarded him, hasn't she? I like that story. It reminds me of St. George because George the mouse is very brave, isn't he? Popping over to see the dragon like that. Now this book with all the other books will be out here. Now you can have a look at them and read them at lunchtime, can't you? Please don't forget. Right, one more thing just before we go. That's right, it's our prayer. It's really, really important, children. Right, you can close your eyes. You can put your hands together, I don't mind, but what you must do is say the words with me. Not in front of me, not behind me, but with me. Ready? Help me to do the things I should, to be to others kind and good, in all my work and all my play, to grow more loving every day. Amen. Now, I'm going to be looking out for people who are being just like our school prayer, because I want to give them lots of, that's right, numbers in boxes. So I'm going to be watching you, and I'm hoping to give you a number in the box very soon. Right, bye children.